I can remember when there were only 30 cases of COVID in China, and we were already talking about it.
This is the first time we brought all three national societies in the Pacific. That's Palau, FSM, Marshall Islands. We completed a 3-day extensive training on epidemic and pandemic control for volunteers.
Continuing support
So I am very blessed to be living in a country that has had no cases of the coronavirus. However, the virus itself has affected this nation as a whole. And as the nation takes steps to prepare for the possibility of the coming of the virus, that's kind of what this video is about. I was able to partner with my good friend, Wilmer Joel, who is an MIHS student and who also works for the Marshall Islands Journal, to go and interview various leaders around the Marshall Islands to gain their input and to figure out exactly what's going on and what are the plans should the virus come. Is there a natural stabilizer on this camera?
No, it's on, we have to use it on iMovie.
Huh?
We have to use it on, I knew where the office was. Oh, it's not here.
He's not here?
No,
Oh.
the office is not here.
Oh.
That's why we're gonna ask the front desk.
Okay.
OB-GYN Jack. Video OB-GYN Jack. Jack ni then bro. Oh, yan ay yun. Yan ay yun. Yan ay yun yun. Where is it?
I found the bathroom.
Oh, you found it out?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Come on in, Mr. Wilmer.
I have a friend that came with me.
Come on in.
I'm a stranger to these parts.
Oh yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us
My
come.
name is Jack Miedenthal. I'm the Secretary of Health for the Republic of the Marshall Islands, the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Mr. Jack Nintendo, what is it like having one of the highest role in making decision in our health ministry of health?
Well, something people should know about my management style. Anytime you're in a position like this, you're managing people. And the Ministry of Health has over 600 employees, a lot of people. And my management style, I think, is very unique because what I like to do is I like to empower all those people around me and focus on what their strengths are and what their knowledge is and defer to that. So when you talk about decisions being made and these hard decisions being made, and they have been just ruthlessly hard, especially in the last 9 months or so, I rely on the people around me. And when you have really good decision makers around you, and I'm always asking them their opinions, listening very carefully. I think the other really important part about being in a leadership position, especially in a time like this where it's a crisis, you have to listen to people. It's really important because if you start making decisions on your own, they're not going to be as good.
Is there any plan for preparation if the COVID-19 or the coronavirus will come?
I can remember when there were only 30 cases of COVID in China, and we were already talking about it. And the reason was, we've been battling dengue fever for 8 months. And a state of health emergency, longest one in the history of the Marshall Islands. We're all very tired. And we heard about this really strange disease outbreak in Wuhan, China. And we started talking about it as a group of people right away. Very soon, within a week or so, we're going to have an isolation ward that'll have 8 more beds. And we have 10 more ventilators now on island. 4 of those will be going to EBI. Everything I do here in Majuro, I always make sure EBI gets a big share of what we get here. So we're always sharing things to EBI. Quarantine is these aren't sick people. They're just people we want to watch and make sure they're okay after 14 days, and then we let them go. It's food, it's high-speed internet. We make it real comfortable for people there. President Kabua, the cabinet, the National Disaster Committee, and the Ministry of Health, have all been on the same page, working together. And to me, that's how you beat this thing. This is us fighting a war, and when you fight a war, you need everybody in the foxhole with you.
If there is a call that Americans are supposed to leave, and we have that option, my thinking is the only reason why I would do it is so that I wouldn't be a burden to the Marshallese if, let's say, I did get sick. But that's where I want to know, what is your opinion? If there is a call that, or a high suggestions that Americans should leave, how would you respond to that?
The way I look at it, nobody on this island is a burden. Don't think like that. I mean, people here are not burdens. When there's a crisis and things start happening here, the one thing I know about islands, and I lived on them for most of my life, is that everybody plays a role. If that disease hits, everyone's going to have to roll up their sleeves.
Yeah.
It's going to be everybody on this island.
As a representative of the Red Cross Society in the Marshall Island, can you explain how the Red Cross plan to help should the COVID-19 virus come?
As of this recording, today is May 2nd, 2020. There is no confirmed cases in the RMI. I want to just put that out there. So since we've been under the travel advisory and emergency declaration by the national government, the National Society of the Marshall Islands Red Cross has been working closely with the national government and our partners, doing numerous things. Number one, we've been doing hand washing demos to the schools and to the communities. We've also recruited volunteers and trained them in these hand washing demonstrations. Number two, we believe that our work towards emergency response training and first aid and CPR are more vital. We want you to be able to take care of yourself and also to react during an emergency. So at this given time, because of what's going on around the world, we believe it's important that we teach each individual around the islands, especially the outer islands, who are far away from the centers, how to be certified and how to be able to react during an emergency. So this is the first time we brought all three national societies in the Pacific. That's Palau, FSM, Marshall Islands. We completed a 3-day extensive training on epidemic and pandemic control for volunteers. Lastly, we're also taking the lead on psychosocial first aid. We believe in the event that there is a lockdown or we're on condition red, and it might be a long period of time where we expect people to stay indoors, to stay in their house, they might get agitated, anxiety. So we're also working with our partners at the all mental health agencies to formulate a task group that can go out and help these communities.
Yeah, we have Elaine Junior Paul, my Joint Associate Commissioner of Secondary Education. Area is Lale Public High School, no, Palakan Manjala. So, ngay pajutok nangin mayin, what teacher plan to be jara jogging and other. Narong terrible country gurong and it's Pujarak Subur. Junior Katavaro is Lola Jagabe continuing support a Riguru in the Jiriki in Jalalagan and 1 mile of it. And my joint trap plan and made it Jarvaleo and I'm implementing it after it made it. You don't know.
Okay.
So obviously this video was just an excerpt of the interviews that we did with these various leaders. If you would like to see a longer version of these interviews, I'll give a link in the description below to Wilmer Joel's Facebook page. It's called The Current, and it's a student-run organization where they keep up to date on current issues. So please check that out if you would like to know more or hear more from these interviews, okay? And also, the virus hasn't come here. If it's in your area where you guys are, I'm so sorry. Please keep yourself safe. And most importantly, just stay positive. So we're all in this together. We're going to make it through, and we're going to be okay. Oh, and always wash our hands, too.
Wet hands with water. Apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Where's the soap? Okay. Now, rub your hands palm to palm.
Good.
Jaw, use jaw. Right palm over left dorsum with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Joko. Yeah. Palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Here, back of fingers to opposing palms with fingers.
The water's gonna go away.
Okay. Back of fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotational rubbing of left thumb clasped in right palm and vice versa.
Right palm.
Left thumb. Rotational rubbing backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of right hand in left palm and vice versa. Your wrist hands with water. Here, dry thoroughly with a single-use towel. There is no towel. The tailor shirt.